You're a beta. Kill or be killed. Kill or be killed.
I see they're letting any pompous, incompetent idiots wear fur. It's not the 90s anymore, darling, right? Can't just go skin 101 Dalmatians like the good old days. Those stupid millennials and Gen Zs will come after you. And your business, babies. I hate those too, by the way. Always crying with those small, furless bodies. But do you want to know where my top tier hate goes toward? When some wannabe fake wrestler runs around town like a dog, wearing a good set of fur. I could be wearing that fur, but instead some gross man wearing fur is making all of us who wear fur look bad. It's not right and quite immoral. And I think we can all agree, even if we're from the year 1990 or we're in present year 2022, that in any of those settings, it's quite fine to make fun of such an individual.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up.
This video is sponsored by me and my protein donut company and my weight loss support group. For more information, click the links below in my description, and thank you all for the support. Da 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 da. Is that the way that I smoke it? I don't care. Da 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 da. Hi, welcome. Today we are continuing our journey to find what exactly is an alpha male and what it takes to get to that alpha male status. Specifically, we are looking at someone called the Real World Champion. He is a fighter. He beat over 500 opponents.
I beat 500 individuals in a multi-sport competition.
Countless wins, darling. Gold medals, belts.
This belt, I went and defeated a UFC champion by forfeit.
Earned the respects of many, and now he's teaching men on the internet how to attain that alpha male status. Except absolutely none of that is true, except for the last part. If you remember, a long time ago, we talked about Matthew Kline Cater, aka the Shallow King.
Is that Matthew Kline Cater's coming to town, and he's gonna do what he does best. And that's take your women and make them bow down.
Matthew claims that he is a top fighter. He would fight random kids on the street to assess dominance.
I mean, I'm not gonna fight right here. I'm not gonna fight right here.
And has made post after post after post and says that he could beat Conor McGregor. Actually, he would beat any of these fighters easily because he is the real world champion. He's got the belt to prove it. He didn't buy it, so he would constantly post about McGregor and other fighters on his Instagram saying, "Fight me." And everybody ignored him until someone took him up on his offer. A fighter, a pro fighter.
If he comes out here, I'll definitely titty fuck him. That's a thing. But no, he said that he wanted to come out. I was like, all right, give him the gym address and say, hey, you want me to buy your flight? And he proceeded to go make fight posters and try to sell a pay-per-view and tell him he's going to bring his camera crew out here. And that dude comes out here and he'll get fucked up.
And Mr. Cater, he ran. He did not show up to the fight that he has been wanting for years. We talked about this in a video right here and linked below. But as I sat back and relaxed and smoked whatever this is, I was wondering, what is Matthew Kline Cater doing now? Well, he still talks about his past wins that nobody can find. Go ahead, look it up. You won't find anything. He literally bought those belts or got them custom made, which he wears while walking the streets of Las Vegas. And now he's teaching men everywhere how to be alpha like him. No, this is not clickbait. He really is an idiot. I might have to say the most idiotic alpha male I have seen to date on the internet. What he says, his presence, everything. So, let's get started. He did not just show how alpha he is by walking into a room, wearing a fur coat, and then inserted an audio clip of an animal growl. I like how he's still walking in silence after the animal growl. Like, there's nothing exciting going on. There's just an animal growl, awkward walk into the room. You can hear him breathe.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to a very special video podcast of the Matthew Kline Cater podcast. This is your host, Matthew Kline Cater.
Just asking my audience, does everybody know who this is, right? He does this quite a bit. He announces or has someone else announce his full name. He also refers to himself as Matthew Kline Cater, the Matthew Kline Cater.
And what we're gonna do today, we're gonna talk about what it takes to be an alpha male.
He is here to educate all of us. I feel like this is the wrong way.
So if you start this podcast and you're a beta, by the end of this podcast, I've been taught the full ideology of becoming an alpha male.
Oh good, you beta bitches in the crowd. Did you hear Matthew Kline Cater? He's got the answer to all your needs to not be beta any longer. This is like how to be alpha all in one package, like a package deal. All the other alphas that we covered, they have multiple videos of how to become alpha. No, not with Matthew Kline Cater. You get it done in all one swoop in less than 30 minutes. He is very efficient, and maybe he is the real world champion of alpha male internet men. Lives are gonna be changed.
And I'm gonna change your life.
He will teach you how to be just like him.
I'm gonna teach you the real world champion mentality.
Spoiler, what that is just calling yourself a real world champion. You slap on a fur coat and challenge the real fighters, and when one says, sure, I'll fight you, meet me here, you don't show up and you just run. You just keep on running with your fur coat and your fake gold medals and belts. So before he gets to the tips on how to go from beta to alpha in as little as 24 minutes, he goes into his extremely 4 or 5 minute rant about the shutdown and how he will handle it as an alpha male.
I'm gonna blow my fireworks. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I wanna do. Be prepared. When you do that, you will truly have the real world champion mentality. You will be an alpha.
I'll wear a fur coat in the desert during summer like a man.
You guys don't understand the simulation we're living in. We're living in a simulation.
He might be onto something. He might be onto something. I don't know. Does heaven exist? Does it not exist? Does hell exist? Reincarnation? Simulation? Some people think we are in The Sims. Aliens? Do aliens exist? Questions I ask myself every day, right? I don't know who's right. Some people know that they have the answer. They just know they are correct. You see, Cruella has grown. She's not always right. She's very open-minded. Maybe we are in a simulation. I'm just over here to overthink the answer and make my mind spiral into a great deep pit of question, like an adult. All right, can we get to the tips, Matthew Kline Cater? Just the tip. Roll's a little freaky in 2022. But really, Matt, the tips, time's a ticking, and there's too many betas not wearing fur coats.
Because the number one rule of being an alpha male is to not call yourself an alpha male.
Ah, yes, never call yourself an alpha male. Just wear an oversized fur coat. Call yourself the real world champion, even though you know no one knows who you are. Fight small men on the street because why not? Don't forget the shades where you use a Sharpie to write king on the lens and call yourself a god.
I'm the fucking god. Look at that.
Then everyone will know you are alpha and not a fucking lunatic.
Okay? Your actions, your persona, your presence should scream alpha male.
Yes, instead of screaming alpha male from your mouth, just scream in general like Matthew does.
Alpha men don't pretend to be overly masculine to compensate for an insecurity.
You know what though? I don't find those things to be exactly manly. So he's doing it right. After all those clips, I did not think masculine in the slightest. And if I do have to say so, and we talked about this, or at least I saw it in the comment section in my last alpha male video, a lot of these alpha males have like the softest voices, and a lot of us were expecting, you know, those big, deep, manly, I'm gonna eat a big pile of meat voices. I did not expect a feminine voice because females are soft, fragile, emotional creatures. And men are soft, they're hard, no emotion, and they never cry. And more importantly, they never scream like little girls.
You should never put down anyone, okay? Because people that have to put people down to bring themselves up are the most beta males in the world.
And now, YouTube, we travel back to all this shit Matthew Kline Cater said about Conor McGregor. Actually, instead of traveling back so far in the past, let's focus on the present. This year, the Swallow King has moved onto a new target because Conor wasn't giving him any attention. I can't wait to come to your gym in a couple months and show the world how much of a punk-ass fool You are. The king is coming, and I'm leaving with your head. Hashtag the real world champion.
And they're very insecure. And if you ever get into a situation like that, you just gotta ignore it. And until they like really like they're trying to, you know, if you're trying to be the bigger person and they're trying to put you down, you just need to get away from that person. That's a waste of your time. And the only time you're gonna show your alpha mentality, if you're trying to be the bigger person and they're trying to goat you into a fight, then it's game time. They're gonna get fucked up.
Like the time you tried to randomly fight some kid on the street? What did this man do to you? He initiated nothing to be in this awkward ass fight. Or the time you picked a fight on the man that I think you have a crush on, Conor McGregor. Right? That was just in our face. He would do that daily.
Alpha men don't pretend to be overly masculine to compensate for an insecurity. To compensate for an insecurity. That's simple. But when someone's acting like that, they're talking, oh, I'm this, I'm do this, I'm hyping themselves up. Dude, these people are insecure.
Boom! That's you, Matthew. You're the one that's insecure. Every video he pays some chick to say that he's attractive.
All the fine ladies know that Matthew Kline Cater has the biggest, sexiest, hardest cock.
Matthew Kline Cater.
Woo!
Hot. Oh my god.
You say your own name multiple times. I'm not too sure if you just forget it or you're obsessed with yourself. You hype yourself up a lot. It's overly needed hype. This has to be a motivational video for you to maybe stop doing what you've been doing.
Sometimes you're gonna be alone.
Like me, right now, in this room, with my fur coat and a real world champion belt that I bought to hype myself up so I can be a real world champion in my head. And you'll be alone, just like me. So very alone. I think his wife left his ass, that ultimate Barbie chick. I shouldn't laugh at divorce. But also, wouldn't you leave him? He's a very odd man. Every night before they had sex, he's like, you ready for the real world champion? And she knows that he's not. He's just some guy with a fur coat and somehow has a lot of money. So much money that he bought a belt for himself that says the real world champion on it, and he wears it in public.
It's about you. It's about what you want. Do you want a big house?
Do you want to be a real world champion?
Do you want a nice car?
On the internet?
Do you want a hot chick?
And pretend to get alpha male advice to insecure men so then they can look stupid. Like you.
This is the real world champion mentality.
He looks like an idiot, right? The title is not harsh.
Real world champion mentality.
Because I don't feel like I'm lying. Idiot. I just looked it up in the dictionary. His face is right there.
Rule number 3 in being an alpha male and not a beta male is to never give a fuck what other people think.
We found it. We found the tip that he actually lives by. Because this man don't give a fuck. He's just out here.
Straight to your motherfucking casket. And when I'm done with you haters, when I'm done with you Instagram masturbators, you're never gonna forget that there ain't nobody greater than Matthew Kline Cater.
Doing all of that. So honestly, that was a good tip. Don't care what people think. If you want to buy a belt and name yourself the real world champion and tell people so they look you up and try to find what championships you won and they don't find any, doesn't matter. As long as you are happy, do it. People might think you are arrogant. People might think you are an oddball. They might even think that you look like an idiot, but it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you think. So then we learn how the Shallow King, or the Matthew Kline Cater, gained all of this, don't give a fuck attitude. We learn how he gained that alpha male status, how he became the real world champion from good old Papa Cater.
When I'm a 6-year-old kid and I did something wrong, and when my dad got pissed, that was, I'm not scared of no man. That when my dad came, he was gone.
I shifted a little bit. The quiver in his voice. I think he's still quite scared of Papa Cater.
He would look at me in his eyes like this. And all I would do is shit my pants off.
So he did the whole assess dominance through glaring at a small child tactic. The whole fear me, small child. Dang it. The whole fear me, small child. I'm bigger than you.
Matthew Kline Cater's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants.
You tell your dad, Matthew Kline Cater.
when he wants,
This is the motivational speech that I needed as a kid. That would have gotten me knocked the fuck out.
and he ain't worried about what you or anybody else thinks.
He had to cool off for a little second there. He's like pacing. He got a little hot.
Rule number 4. Stop being so nice.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to be a nice person. You know what I bet he's gonna do? He's gonna say, be a nice guy without being a nice guy. You know the whole nice guy thing when they're not actually nice. They're actually a blatant butthole. But then once they start being a butthole and you call them out, they're like, hey, don't worry. I'm just a nice guy.
Okay, but don't get me wrong here. I'm a nice guy, super nice guy.
What did I tell you? What did I just tell you? He really just said, I'm a nice guy. If nice guy was a real person, that's the guy. This is the one that are in the comment section, ladies, saying a bunch of weird shit. And then we say something back, they're like, hey, I'm a nice guy. I wear my real world champion belt that I bought myself and declared myself the real world champion, like everybody else, walking down the Las Vegas Strip. I don't think he knows what nice means. I looked it up. His face is not there, but it is under idiot.
Everyone that meets me is gonna get that nice guy. The second you try to step on me, okay, I'm flipping.
Ah, the old Jekyll and Hyde tactic. The moment he doesn't like something you say, you get the Hyde. You know, a lot of people do that these days. You'll find it all over the place on the internet, like in the body positive community, the fat community, any other of these communities that say, we're nice people, we're accepting, and the moment you say something they don't accept, woo! The old Jekyll and Hyde.
Living in the world is no different than living in the jungle.
2 things. What world does he think the jungle is in? Because I'm pretty sure that is in the real world. It's not in another universe, Matthew Kline Cater. And 2, it's quite different, sir. It's very different. These alpha males love to compare themselves, a human, to the lions, the tigers, and the bears.
You wanna be a deer? You wanna be a sheep? Or you wanna be a lion?
They reference places like the jungle.
When you're in the jungle, you don't go make friends with the deer because you want the deer to like you.
I don't think they've ever watched an animal documentary in their life, because a lot of these females in the animal world are quite alpha themselves. Actually, not even in the jungle. Black widows are right outside of my backyard. They be murdering male. Nature is ruthless, and a lot of the females are ruthless. The males seem quite weak, fragile, too occupied by getting sex and easily taken down by a female. I highly doubt Mr. Kline Cater would even make it in the jungle. With that odd mating cry, some predator's gonna hear that and take your butt cheeks out. But you know what? Matthew Kline Cater doesn't identify as a lion, a tiger, or a bear.
That's why I created the terminology of half lion, half gorilla, because I'm a different species.
Like a man-bear pig? He's not wrong. He is a completely different species.
You want to eat that deer. And in this world, that's what you need to do. You want to eat everyone.
Damn, he's on another level. Most of these alpha males say eat tons of chicken, beef, lean proteins, you know, the usual, etc., etc. He's out here saying eat everyone, humans. All right. Some on the verge cannibal freak is watching this and gonna take this very seriously. Matthew Kline Cater, use your platform wisely. Anyway, I get the metaphor, but why do all these alpha males always talk about eating people, eating meat, eating everything? That high amount of protein cannot be too good for you.
Man, sorry, this is not a nice world. You gotta be mean.
Wait, but I thought you said you were a nice guy.
Mean doesn't mean I'm gonna go beat that guy with the business up.
But that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you tried to do with the actual fighter, but you probably knew he would probably beat you up.
I'm a tough guy, but I'm not going around getting physical with everyone, believe me.
You know, I'm really trying to take you seriously, Matt. You Kline Cater. Even though you do this in the gym. Even though you wear this fur coat all day, every day, and it's definitely not on the same level as Cruella's fur coat. Even though you bought a belt, 2 belts, and call yourself the real world champion, even though you pay women to call you hot,
Everyone keeps saying how hot this Matthew guy is. You're pretty sexy.
I draw the line when you lie straight to my face. I just can't get that image of you fighting that poor little man on the street.
I'm a nice guy. I don't need a flex. I'm nice. If you meet me in person, there's people that know me. They know.
Believe me, guys, people know me in real life. They know how nice I am. I'm a nice guy. Everyone tells me, hey, you know that Matthew Kline Cater guy? I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you, Matthew Kline Cater. We just say your name all the time. Matthew Kline Cater, you are a nice guy. Just a nice chap. No nice character in a movie, show, anything. Who wears a fur coat is nice. And that's coming from the source of evil. Everyone who knows me knows that I am not a nice gal. And everyone I know who wears a fur coat is not a nice person, which makes it true.
This belt, I beat 500 individuals in a multi-sport competition.
No, you didn't. None of that ever happened. Matthew Kline Cater, these are things people can look up easily with this new thing called Google. Have you heard of it? It was never in the 90s, but in 2022, there's a thing that we can just look things up. You never did that, ever.
This belt, I went and defeated a UFC champion by forfeit.
This boy got mental issues. Does he really think this happened? He just makes shit up. Look it up right now. We will wait right now. Go on your phone, look up Matthew Kline Cater fights. Matthew Kline Cater win. Matthew Kline Cater event. Nothing comes up except for a tiny bit of individuals who gave him attention and pretty much just said, who the fuck are you? And went about their business.
Are you gonna be alpha? Are you gonna be beta? Are you gonna have the real world champion mentality?
No. Not at all. Let's just stop it here. Because if you ask me, the new world is 2022. Travesty is disgusting, boring, gross, and quite unfashionable. The belt, ugh, disgusting. Looked horrible around your waist, thickened it. That's not good in the 90s. While our search and journey into what actually makes an alpha male alpha and how to attain that status is still, well, we're still searching. The journey continues, everyone. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Cruella would love to talk to you in the comments section. And I will see you guys next time. It's time for me to go find those puppies.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Hello, puppies. You guys are so lucky you aren't spotted. But you, little one, you have quite the luxurious coat.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't